Hi Steve fans, and welcome back to the channel. Thankfully, restrictions put in place due to the COVID-19 pandemic are being relaxed, if not removed completely, at more and more destinations around the globe, meaning the opportunity to get our gills wet in warm tropical locations is fast becoming a reality. To further whet your appetite for a spot of foreign travel to a diving hotspot, in this video I'm going to be giving you a whistle-stop tour of the Bahamas. Undoubtedly one of the world's top diving destinations, especially when it comes to dramatic walls, colourful reef fish and, of course, sharks. This month's videos are all sponsored by Seiko, who have been making quality dive watches since 1965. Think of Caribbean diving, and I bet the Bahamas is close to the top of the list. This archipelago nation sprawls across nearly 100,000 square miles of ocean, and exploring the various islands and keys on a liveaboard is a little slice of paradise. Being so close to the USA, the Bahamas is a popular short-haul trip for North American divers, but it's easy to get to the islands from the UK and Europe as well. The main islands of Nassau and Grand Bahama are surrounded by fantastic diving, as are the out islands of Andros, the Abacos, Eleuthera, Bimini, the Exumas, San Salvador and Cat Island. Whether you want coral gardens, abyssal walls and ripping drifts, or you want vast shoals of fish, majestic pelagics, even epic cave and cavern dives, the Bahamas can seriously deliver. You can stay on any of these islands and that will give you some awesome diving experiences. But to really get out and see the best of the Bahamas, you'll want to be on a liveaboard, and there are various itineraries on offer. One of the most popular routes takes you down through the Exuma Marine Park, which was created way back in 1958 and was actually the first land and sea park in the world. The Exumas comprises more than 350 small islands and keys stretching over 120 miles from just south of New Providence, and trips normally make a loop that takes in Eleuthera as well. There are a multitude of dive sites, but some of the best include Amberjack Reef, Cathedral and Pillar Wall. Amberjack Reef is a patch reef and you will often encounter Caribbean reef sharks and large grouper, but don't forget to look for the little stuff. Critters you can find include pirate blennies and garden eels. On your safety stop under your liveaboard, you'll often be surrounded by a vast shoal of horse-eyed jacks. Cathedral is part of the expansive Drive Docks Reef, and what starts as a gentle slope becomes gradually steeper until it drops off vertically into the Exuma Sound. The Cathedral, which gives the site its name, is a large swim-through often filled with silversides. In the blue off the wall, you can often see spotted eagle rays and reef sharks. Pillar Wall is, as the name suggests, a wall dive, and it follows the classic profile for a Bahama wall. A relatively shallow sandy bottom, turning into sand shoots and rocky reef before dropping off into the abyss. Expect impressive sponge and coral growth on the wall itself, and plenty of pelagic action in the blue. Another popular route that is now on offer runs out of Grand Bahama's west end and goes to the famous Tiger Beach. Without a doubt, one of the best 15 feet dives in the world. Here you can get up close and personal with reef sharks, nurse sharks, lemon sharks and, of course, tiger sharks. However, there's far more to diving in this area than just this one dive. Mount Olympus is one of the best reef dives in the Caribbean, period. I was absolutely blown away when I dived it several years ago and could have quite happily spent a few days exploring the cut-throughs, overhangs and reefs, which are smothered in pristine coral and sponge growth. It is so colourful, it is more reminiscent of an Indo-Pacific reef than what you would expect to find in the Caribbean. It's that good. The Sugar Wreck is a barge that went down in the late 1800s, and with it being in the middle of nowhere, it has become a natural haven for all sorts of marine life, and it's now a thriving habitat for everything with resident green morays and a friendly hawksbill turtle, as well as all the usual fish you'd expect to see. An extended itinerary taking in all of the dive sites out of the West End, as well as swinging down the west coast of Bimini, is also occasionally on offer. Bimini can deliver close encounters with great hammerhead sharks, but as well as these magnificent predators, it boasts some superior dive sites, including the Sapona Wreck, which, like the Sugar Wreck, is a mecca for marine life. Bull Run, which is a series of 3 large coral heads surrounding a sandy patch that is frequented by reef sharks and the occasional bull shark, and the so-called Tuna Alley, where, you guessed it, you can see tuna as well as mackerel. We have teamed up with Aggressor Liveaboards for this series of short video tours around some of the world's best diving destinations. And here in the Bahamas, they have the Bahamas Aggressor, which offers week-long charters and the occasional 10-night charters, as we discussed earlier. Expect up to 27 dives on a 7-night charter and a whopping 42 dives on a 10-night charter. The Bahamas Aggressor is 100 feet long, and it's got 6 staterooms for its 14 passengers. It's got a large salon, spacious sun deck, shaded cocktail deck, bar, grill, and a hot tub. There is so much more to the Bahamas than we have shown here, but hopefully it gives you a taster for this fantastic diving destination. Have you dived the Bahamas? What were some of your most memorable moments? Leave your comments below, and if you've got a question, fire away. If we can't answer it, maybe someone in our growing community will be able to help you. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our playlist for more educational, informative, and hopefully entertaining videos. As always, stay safe, and if you're going diving, enjoy.